The sun was slowly setting over the strange planet Kalira, casting a soft golden light across the newly built human research camp. The air felt heavy with mist, and the tall purple trees around the area gave the place a quiet, almost dreaming look. Most of the human crew thought Kalira was a peaceful world. But even on the first day, something felt different here. Something felt alive in the shadows. Something felt like it was watching them. Noah, a 10-year-old human kid, walked near the edge of the camp with curious eyes. His parents were scientists, and they often brought him with them on long missions. Noah loved adventure, and he loved exploring new places. But this world felt much more mysterious than any planet he had seen before. There were strange footprints around the camp, footprints too big for any human, and arranged in circles as if something had walked around them in the night. Trees were broken from the middle, as if something huge had passed through. And sometimes, especially after sunset, a deep hum filled the forest, like the sound of a giant creature breathing in the dark. The adults tried to stay calm, but everyone felt a quiet fear in their hearts. The security team doubled their patrols. Drones scanned the forest every hour, and bright lights were placed around the camp. Still, the feeling of being watched never went away that night. While the adults were busy checking equipment, Noah stood near the glowing fence that separated the camp from the forest. The forest looked beautiful but dangerous, full of glowing plants and thick fog rolling across the ground. Noah listened quietly, and soon he heard something he had never heard before. Not the hum, not a roar, not footsteps. It sounded like crying, soft, gentle, almost like a small child calling for help. Noah froze. Was it an animal? Was it some dangerous creature? He was scared. But his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He stepped closer to the fence, holding the small robot toy he always carried in his pocket. It was a simple toy, old and scratched, but it was his favorite friend. The crying became clearer, like it was coming from behind a large stone near the forest edge. Noah looked around to make sure no one saw him, then quietly slipped through a small gap in the fence. He stepped into the mist, his heart beating fast. The forest felt colder, and the air tingled with strange energy. He walked slowly, following the soft crying. When he reached the stone, he stopped. Something small was hiding behind it. Shaking in fear, Noah leaned forward and whispered, "Are you hurt?" The figure jumped a little but did not run. Noah slowly stepped to the side, and then he finally saw it. A small alien child sat curled up, hugging its knees, glowing faint blue in the darkness. Its eyes were large and shining, its skin smooth like glass, and its hair looked like thin silver threads. The alien child stared at Noah with fear and confusion. Noah felt a strange connection, like this creature was not a monster, not a threat, but simply lonely. Noah slowly lifted his hands to show he meant no harm. The alien child trembled but did not look away. Noah gently placed his small robot toy on the ground and rolled it toward the alien child. The toy made a soft clicking sound as it stopped near the alien's feet. For a long moment, nothing happened. The alien only stared, unsure what to do. Then, with a slow, shaking hand, it reached forward and touched the toy. A small smile formed on its glowing face. Noah felt warm relief wash over him. The alien child lifted the toy, pressed a small glowing finger on its head, and the toy lit up with blue light. Brighter than ever before, the alien giggled softly, and the sound echoed beautifully in the night. Noah stepped closer, and their hands touched for a brief second. A warm flash of light spread between them. Not painful, not scary, but full of gentle energy. It felt like a first handshake from a new friend. But suddenly, from deep inside the forest, a low growl thundered through the trees. It was loud, heavy, and filled with warning. The alien child's smile vanished instantly. Its body shook, the blue glow dimming with fear. Noah whispered, "What was that?" The alien child looked around, eyes wide. Then it slowly leaned closer to Noah and spoke one single word in a trembling voice. "Warriors," before Noah could ask anything. The alien child disappeared into the darkness like a streak of blue light, leaving only the glowing toy behind. Noah stood alone, confused and terrified. The forest fell silent again, but the feeling of being watched grew stronger. He picked up the glowing toy and ran back toward the camp. His heart was pounding, and he knew something huge had just begun. And far away in the dark forest, unseen by Noah, hundreds of glowing eyes opened at once, watching the human camp with silent interest. The next morning on Kalira, the human camp woke up to a quiet tension in the air. No one knew why the security alarms had recorded strange energy spikes during the night. But everyone felt uneasy. Noah, however, knew exactly what caused the strange feeling. He kept looking at the glowing toy hidden in his jacket pocket. The same toy the alien child had touched and charged with a soft blue light. He wanted to tell his parents everything, but he feared they wouldn't believe him. The adults always thought Noah's imagination was too strong. And this time the truth sounded even wilder than a dream. Still, he couldn't forget the alien child's trembling voice. Could warriors mean danger? Could something big be coming? As he ate breakfast, he noticed something odd. Right near the fence, the mist was thicker than usual, almost moving like a living thing. And then Noah saw them, small glowing pebbles placed neatly in a tiny line. They were not there last night. Someone had left them for him. Noah's heart jumped. It had to be Ari, the alien child. He quickly looked around to make sure no adult was watching, then rushed toward the fence. When he reached the pebbles, he touched one gently. It felt warm, almost alive, like it was breathing faint pulses of light. This was a gift, a sign of friendship, a message saying, "I'm still here." But the strange thing was the way the pebbles were arranged. They formed a small circle with one stone in the center. It looked like a symbol, something meaningful to Ari's species, something that said, "We are connected now." Noah smiled softly. He wanted to give something back, something that showed he appreciated Ari's kindness. So he ran to his tent and grabbed a small snack bar and a drawing he had made on the ship. It was a simple picture of stars and planets, but it felt like the right gift. He returned to the fence and placed the drawing and snack in the same circle, hoping Ari would find them. But as he stood there, he felt a sudden wave of cold wind. The trees rustled, the mist swirled, and a strange clicking sound echoed from the forest. It sounded like someone or something was watching him. Noah stepped back, his hands shaking. He didn't see anything, but he felt the presence. A soft glow flickered behind a distant tree, then vanished like a ghost in the fog. He whispered, "Ari, are you there?" But the forest answered with silence. Later that day, the scientists found the glowing pebbles too, and they were shocked. "What creature leaves gifts?" one of them said. "Maybe it's a trap," another muttered. Some wanted to collect the stones for study, but the commander ordered them left alone, saying the pattern looked too intentional, too intelligent. This made Noah nervous. He didn't want the adults to scare Ari away. As the sun set again, strange things continued happening around the camp. The forest seemed more alive than ever. Faint whispers echoed like distant voices, and sometimes a sudden vibration shook the ground. The adults blamed the planet's energy fields, but Noah felt something else. Ari's people were moving, watching, judging. That night, Noah sneaked out of his tent and crept back toward the gift circle. The snack and drawing were gone, and in their place was a new glowing stone, larger and brighter than the others. Attached to it was a thin silver string, glowing like starlight. Noah picked it up carefully, and the moment he touched the stone, a soft voice whispered behind him, "Noah." Noah spun around, but Ari was already stepping out of the mist, blue and glowing softly. Ari looked less scared this time, more curious, as if trying to understand the human boy better. "You came back," Noah whispered with a smile. Ari nodded slowly, placing his small hand over his chest as a greeting. Noah copied the gesture, and Ari seemed pleased. The alien child pointed toward the glowing stone in Noah's hand and said, "Bond." Noah didn't fully understand, but he felt the importance of the word. It wasn't just a gift, it was something deeper. Something that connected them. Ari then looked toward the forest, eyes shifting nervously. Noah noticed the fear returning to Ari's face. "What's wrong?" he asked softly. Ari hesitated, then whispered, "Warriors watching." Noah looked at the dark gap between the trees. He couldn't see anything, but the air felt thick, like someone powerful was hiding there. Ari grabbed Noah's hand suddenly, trying to warn him. "Warriors come soon," Ari whispered, voice trembling. "They come for me," before Noah could ask why. The forest shook with another deep vibration, louder than before. Ari's eyes widened, and the blue glow around him flickered like a warning light. "Noah." "Danger," Ari said, voice filled with fear. "Humans." "Not ready, then," as quickly as he appeared. Ari turned and vanished into the mist again, leaving Noah alone with the glowing stone in his hand. The wind howled, the ground rumbled, and Noah suddenly understood one thing. Ari's people were coming, and they were not coming quietly. The morning on Kalira began with a strange silence, the kind that made every human in the camp look over their shoulders. The wind did not move, the trees did not sway, and even the glowing insects that usually floated around were nowhere to be seen. Something in the air felt heavy, like a warning. Noah woke up with the glowing stone tightly held in his hand. He had fallen asleep clutching it after Ari's sudden warning. Even now, the stone pulsed with a soft light. Almost like a heartbeat, it comforted him, but it also scared him. Ari had said the warriors were watching, and that they were coming. Noah left his tent quietly and looked toward the forest. From far away, he could see faint blue trails of light drifting between the trees. They disappeared whenever someone else walked by, almost like they were hiding only from the adults. Noah felt sure they were Ari's people, keeping a close eye on him. But why him? What did they want? At breakfast, the adults were full of nervous whispers. The strange readings on their scanners had grown stronger. Energy waves from the forest were off the charts. The commander called for a meeting, telling everyone to be alert. "No one goes near the forest today," he said firmly. "There is movement out there, and we don't know what it is." Noah lowered his head, hiding his fear. He knew exactly what the movement was. The warriors, Ari's people, the veil. After the meeting, Noah slipped away from the adults and walked near the fence again. He wanted to see Ari, even if it was risky. He had to understand what was coming. When he reached the place where the glowing stones had appeared yesterday, he froze. There were new footprints in the dirt. Small ones like Ari's, but also larger ones. Far larger than any human footprint. They were deep, sharp, and shaped like something with claws. Noah's breath caught in his throat. This wasn't just Ari visiting him anymore. Someone much bigger had been here, a guardian, a warrior, or maybe several of them. Suddenly, Noah heard a branch snap behind him. He spun around, and for a moment, he saw a tall shadow moving among the trees. It moved in complete silence. Despite its size, then the shadow vanished, leaving only the moving mist behind. Noah stepped back, heart pounding. The veil were closer than he thought, watching every step he took. That afternoon, the scientists made a discovery that changed everything. A drone scanning the forest caught a blurry image. Something glowing, fast and humanoid was running between the trees. When the adults saw it, they panicked. "Intelligent life," one whispered. "But we were told this planet had none," another argued. The commander ordered full lockdown protocols. Gates locked, weapons ready, patrols doubled. Until we understand what these creatures are. We stay inside, he said. Noah felt a wave of guilt. He knew Ari was not dangerous. Ari had helped him, trusted him. But now humans were preparing for a fight. And Noah didn't know how to stop it. Later in the evening, Noah slipped away again and returned to the forest edge. This time, Ari appeared almost instantly, stepping out of the mist like a soft blue flame. Ari looked scared, his body dimmer than before. Noah. Danger growing, Ari whispered. Your people fear us. Noah nodded sadly. They don't know you, he said. They only saw shadows. Ari looked down, holding the glowing toy Noah had given him. He pressed it to his chest like it was the only thing giving him courage. Veil warriors. Protect me, Ari said slowly. But they think humans may hurt me. Noah's heart dropped. So they're coming because of you, Ari nodded, trembling. Warriors angry. They think humans took me. Noah felt cold fear crawl across his skin. No, Ari, I didn't take you, Noah said quickly. Ari gave a small smile. I know. But warriors do not understand. The air around them shifted. And the forest suddenly grew darker. A deep hum spread through the ground. Like hundreds of feet moving silently, Ari's eyes widened. They come now, he whispered. Noah. Go back. No, Noah said firmly. I want to help. Ari grabbed Noah's hand with surprising strength. Help by leaving, Ari said. Warriors see you. They get angry, but Noah didn't move. How many are coming? He asked softly. Ari hesitated, then answered in a trembling voice. Many. More than humans can count. A sudden flash of light burst between the trees. Blue armor, glowing eyes, massive shadows moving as one. Ari cried out and pushed Noah away. Go, Ari whispered urgently. Before they see you, Noah stumbled backward, heart racing. He looked up one last time and saw the mist parting. Several towering figures stepped into view, their bodies glowing with fierce blue light. Ari turned toward them, shaking but brave. The warriors were here, and this was only the beginning. Asterisk. The ground trembled like a heartbeat coming from deep underground. Dust rose from the forest floor, drifting into the air with every low vibration. Noah stood frozen at the fence. Staring into the dark trees, Ari was gone, swallowed by the glowing mist, but Noah could still hear his last warning echoing in his mind. They come now. The human camp felt the shaking too. Lights flickered, alarms beeped, and every scientist looked up in confusion and fear. What is happening? Someone shouted. Earthquake, another guessed, but no one knew it wasn't the planet. It was footsteps, hundreds of them. Moving in perfect rhythm, the Veil warriors. Security teams rushed to the fence, scanning the forest with bright beams of light, but the mist swallowed everything, making it impossible to see more than a few meters ahead. One of the guards stepped closer and whispered. Something is out there, another whispered back. This is not natural, Noah's heart pounded as he watched shadows flicker through the fog. Tall figures, glowing shapes, the sound of armor brushing against branches. The forest wasn't hiding them anymore, they were coming out. A deep horn suddenly echoed across the valley, so loud that even the ground seemed to shake. Every human jumped, weapons pointed toward the forest. Noah felt fear grip his chest. This was it. The warriors had arrived. The mist parted like two giant invisible hands were pulling it aside, slowly, from between the glowing trees. The first Veil warrior stepped into view. He was taller than any human, covered in shining blue armor made of crystal-like plates. Glowing lines ran along his skin like veins of light. His eyes were bright, sharp, and filled with ancient power. He carried a long staff-like weapon that hummed with energy. Behind him, dozens more appeared. Then hundreds, walking in perfect formation. There weren't just a few. There were around 500. Their marching made the ground shake like thunder. The humans backed away, their hands trembling on their weapons. Noah watched breathlessly as the warriors formed a wide semicircle around the camp. Not attacking, just standing like statues carved from light. Their armor glowed softly in the dim evening, turning the entire valley into a blue ocean of energy. The commander stepped forward, voice shaking. "We come in peace," he shouted, but his voice cracked. And the warriors didn't respond. Their eyes scanned the humans with deep suspicion, like they were searching for someone. Noah knew exactly who they were searching for, Ari. He pushed through the adults. Trying to get a better view, he needed to find Ari. He needed to show the warriors he wasn't a threat. But as soon as he stepped forward, the ground flashed with blue light. All the warriors snapped their glowing eyes toward him at the same time. Noah froze, feeling their heavy attention like a physical weight pressing on him. Then, from the center of the warrior group, a massive figure stepped forward, taller, brighter, and more decorated than the others. His armor was darker blue, marked with silver patterns that looked like ancient runes. This was their leader, a Veil High Commander. He walked until he stood just a few steps away from the fence. The humans pointed weapons at him, shaking, but he ignored them completely, his eyes focused only on Noah. "You," the commander said in a deep, echoing voice. "You carry the bond." Noah clutched the glowing stone hanging from his neck. He didn't speak, too shocked to respond. The Veil leader lowered his weapon and knelt slowly, placing a hand over his heart. The warriors behind him did the same. 500 powerful beings bowing their heads. The humans gasped in disbelief. Noah stood speechless. The Veil leader spoke again, voice calm but full of emotion. "The child of your people showed kindness to our prince." Gasps spread through the human camp. Prince, Ari wasn't just a child, he was a royal child. A member of the Veil ruling bloodline. That meant every warrior here was sworn to protect him with their lives, the commander whispered. The boy gave a toy to an alien prince. His voice trembled with shock. The Veil leader continued. "Your child offered comfort to our young one when he was lost and afraid. Because of this kindness, no harm shall come to your people, but know this." He lifted his glowing staff toward the eastern mountains. "A greater danger rises." Noah's eyes widened. "What danger?" he whispered. The Veil leader's glowing eyes darkened. "The void beast awakens," he said. "And it comes for all life." The humans murmured in fear. The Veil tightened their formation, weapons humming with energy. The leader looked at Noah again. "We need your help," he said. "Only humans can track it." Noah felt his breath stop. He thought the warriors had come to fight humans, but instead, they had come to ask for help. The Veil leader lowered his staff and said one final line that struck everyone with silent shock. "The life of our prince, Ari, depends on the bond you created." Noah touched the glowing stone around his neck. Feeling its warmth, the future of two species now rested in his small hands. And the night around them grew darker, as if the planet itself was holding its breath, waiting for what came next. The air around the human camp felt heavier than before, almost as if the planet itself was breathing slowly and carefully. 500 Veil warriors stood silently around the camp, glowing like blue fire in the fading daylight. Humans whispered nervously, unsure whether this was a peaceful moment or the calm before disaster. Noah stood near the front, clutching the glowing bondstone around his neck. He felt small next to the towering warriors, but he also felt responsible. Ari had trusted him, and now these warriors were trusting him too. But trust wasn't the only thing in the air. Fear was growing like a storm cloud above them. The Veil leader stepped closer to the humans, his voice deep and echoing like thunder rolling through a canyon. "The void beast moves," he said calmly. Even saying its name made the warriors tighten their grip on their weapons. Noah felt a cold shiver run down his spine. "What is the void beast?" he whispered. The Veil leader looked at him, eyes glowing dim blue. "A creature older than our history," he said. "A beast that wakes every 100 cycles to hunt energy, life, and light." Noah swallowed hard, imagining something huge and unstoppable moving through the forest. The Veil leader continued, "It senses life from far away. And once it chooses a path, nothing can stop it." The humans looked terrified. One scientist stammered, "Is it coming here?" The Veil leader nodded slowly. "It stirs beneath the eastern mountains," he said. "It will rise soon, and when it does, it will search for the strongest energy nearby." Noah suddenly understood. "Ari," he whispered. "Ari's glow, Ari's power, Ari's royal energy." The void beast would sense him like a beacon in the dark. The Veil leader turned to Noah with a heavy look. "You see the truth," he said. "Our prince carries a rare light, one that can heal or destroy. That is why the beast seeks him." Noah felt panic rise in his chest. "Then we have to protect Ari," he said. The Veil leader nodded. "Yes. But we cannot fight the void beast alone. Your humans carry machines that can track its movements, and only together can we stop it." The human commander stepped forward nervously. "You want us to help?" he asked. The Veil leader bowed his head. "Without your technology, we cannot predict its path. Without our strength, you cannot survive its arrival. We need each other." For a moment, there was silence. Humans and Veil studied each other, as if deciding whether this alliance could truly work. Then Noah stepped forward boldly. "We fight together," he said, his young voice firm. "Ari helped me, and now we help him." A soft glow flickered in the forest behind the warriors. Ari appeared slowly, stepping out from the mist. His blue light was dimmer than usual, as if worry was draining his energy. He held Noah's toy robot close to his chest. When he saw Noah, he smiled weakly. "Noah." "Thank you," he whispered. The Veil warriors bowed deeply to the prince as he approached. Their armor hummed with respect. Ari touched Noah's bondstone, and it glowed brighter. "Ari linked to you," the Veil leader explained. "Your courage gave him strength last night." Ari nodded softly. "Noah, good friend," he said in simple but warm words. Noah smiled, though his hands shook slightly. He looked at the Veil leader again. "How long until the void beast wakes?" he asked. The leader answered quietly. "It has already awakened." A loud vibration suddenly shook the ground, so strong that several humans stumbled backward. A deep rumbling noise rolled across the valley like a monster breathing from underground. The lights in the camp flickered, and distant trees shook as waves of dust rose into the air. The Veil warriors turned toward the eastern mountains instantly. Weapons glowing, from far away, a red pulse of light shot into the sky like a warning flare. "That is its energy," the Veil leader said. "It rises." Humans scrambled to their equipment, activating scanners and drones. One screen showed a red dot moving slowly toward the valley. Another showed energy waves stronger than anything they had recorded before. Noah stared at the screens with wide eyes. The creature was moving slowly but steadily, like a giant waking from a deep sleep and stretching across the land. Ari trembled beside him. "Noah, if beast finds me, Veil fall," he whispered fearfully. "Noah." "Humans fall." Noah grabbed Ari's hands quickly. "We won't let it find you," he said with all the confidence he could gather. "We'll stop it." Ari's blue eyes filled with hope and fear. "You help." "Veil help, together strong," he whispered. The Veil leader raised his staff high into the air. Its glowing tip burst into bright blue light, shining like a beacon across the valley. "All warriors prepare," he roared. "The time has come." Humans and Veil ran into formation. Side by side, tech teams activated shields and scanners. Warriors summoned energy weapons and armor. For the first time in history, two different species stood united against a threat older than their worlds. Noah looked at the mountains glowing red in the distance and felt the truth settle in his heart. This wasn't just a fight for Ari. This was a fight for the entire planet, and the void beast was now awake. Asterisk, the sky above Kalira darkened as if a giant shadow had spread across the world. Red flashes rose from the eastern mountains, lighting the clouds with a blood-colored glow. The humans and Veil warriors stood shoulder to shoulder in the valley, preparing for a battle none of them had ever seen before. Even the air seemed to shake with fear. Noah stood beside Ari, gripping the glowing bondstone tightly. He could feel Ari trembling, not from weakness, but from the heavy pressure of the beast waking beneath the earth. Ari whispered softly, "Void beast hungry. It smell energy. It come fast." The Veil leader raised his staff, glowing brighter than ever. "All units, prepare to defend." His voice boomed across the entire valley. The warriors moved into perfect formation, spreading across the field like waves of blue fire. Humans activated laser towers, shield generators, and flying drones that hummed in the sky like metal insects. Then the earth split open with a roar that shook the valley like thunder. A massive crack tore through the mountain base, and a dark shape rose from the smoke. The void beast finally appeared. Its body was huge, twice the size of the largest Veil warrior. Its skin looked like black stone mixed with burning red cracks that pulsed like a heartbeat. Every breath it took sent shockwaves into the ground. Its eyes glowed bright red, searching for energy. Searching for Ari. Noah felt his legs weaken. "So big," he whispered in fear. Ari grabbed his hand tightly. "Do not look away. If we fear, beast win." The void beast let out a terrifying roar, the sound echoing across the valley like a storm. The Veil warriors charged first, their armor glowing bright blue as they sprinted across the battlefield with incredible speed. Energy blades extended from their arms, and shields formed around them like glowing barriers. The beast swung its massive tail, smashing the ground and sending several warriors flying into the air. But the Veil quickly regrouped, attacking from all sides, moving so fast that only streaks of blue light could be seen. Humans joined the fight, launching drones that fired energy beams. Laser towers shot bright lines across the sky, striking the beast's armor again and again. Explosion after explosion lit the valley, but the void beast kept walking forward. Slow but unstoppable, each hit made it roar louder, filled with rage and hunger. The Veil leader shouted, "Aim for the cracks in its armor." The beast's red crack lines were glowing brighter, meaning its energy was overflowing. Humans redirected their lasers toward the glowing weak points. The Veil warriors leaped and struck those same areas with precision attacks. For the first time, the void beast staggered back, roaring angrily. Noah watched in awe and terror as the battle exploded around him. He felt Ari shaking harder. "Ari, what's wrong?" Noah asked. Ari looked at the beast with fear and sadness. "Beast, feel my light. It come for me." Suddenly the void beast turned its head directly toward the camp where Noah and Ari stood. Its glowing eyes locked on them like a hunter spotting its prey. It roared and charged, shaking the ground with every step. "No," the Veil leader shouted. "Protect the prince." Warriors rushed to form a barrier around Ari. Humans activated emergency shields around the camp, bright blue walls rising from the ground. The beast slammed into the shields with all its strength, the impact sending a wave of energy through the valley. The shield cracked but held for now. Ari's glow flickered, becoming unstable. Noah hugged him tight. "Stay with me. You're not alone," he said firmly. Ari looked into Noah's eyes, and the bondstone between them shined brighter. The Veil leader shouted, "The bond! Use the bond!" Noah didn't understand at first. "What do we do?" he cried. Ari placed his glowing hands over Noah's, guiding him. "Light protect. Light confuse beast," Ari whispered. "Together we strong." Noah focused on the stone. Closing his eyes, a warm energy spread from his chest to his hands. He felt Ari's heartbeat mixing with his own. A bright wave of blue light burst out from the stone, spreading across the battlefield like a shockwave. The void beast roared in confusion and pain. Stumbling back as the light struck its face, the warriors immediately took advantage. "Attack now!" the Veil leader shouted. 300 warriors leaped at once, striking the beast's glowing cracks with all their strength. Humans fired every weapon they had. Explosions lit up the night like fireworks. The void beast tried to stand tall, but its legs shook violently. Its red glow dimmed as if its life energy was draining away. Noah opened his eyes and saw the beast collapsing forward. With a final roar, the monster fell onto the ground, shaking the valley one last time. A cloud of dust exploded into the air, and the battlefield fell silent. The void beast lay completely still, its red cracks fading into dark stone. The warriors slowly lowered their weapons. Humans exhaled in disbelief. The Veil leader bowed his head in deep respect. "It is done," he said softly. But Noah wasn't looking at the beast. He was looking at Ari. The small prince had collapsed against him, glowing weakly. "Ari," Noah whispered in panic. Ari's voice came out faint and trembling. "Noah." "Light too much. I tired." "Very tired." Noah held him close as the warriors rushed over. The Veil leader placed a gentle hand on Noah's shoulder. "You saved him," he said. "You saved us all." But Ari's dimming light told Noah one thing. The battle was over, but the danger for Ari was not. Asterisk. The battlefield that had shaken with explosions only minutes before was now silent. The dust settled slowly over the valley, covering the broken ground, shattered rocks, and still glowing pieces of Veil energy weapons. 500 Veil warriors stood in a wide circle, their armor dimmer now, glowing gently like calm stars. Instead of burning flames, humans watched from behind shield walls. Exhausted and stunned, they had survived. But the cost of victory was written clearly on Noah's face. Noah knelt on the ground, holding Ari tightly in his arms. The small prince's light flickered weakly like a candle that could blow out at any moment. "Noah." "Sorry," Ari whispered, his voice thin and fading. "You not safe." "Because of me." Noah shook his head, tears filling his eyes despite the warm glow on his chest. "No." "Ari, you saved us too," Noah said softly. "You're my friend. I would never leave you." The Veil leader stepped forward slowly, his tall shadow falling across both of them. He knelt respectfully beside Ari and placed a glowing hand over the prince's forehead. "This child used his light beyond his limits," he said, voice heavy with emotion. "He poured too much of his energy into the bond. And now he weak." Humans gathered around, watching with worry and sympathy. One of the scientists whispered, "If he loses more energy, he might fade completely." Another added sadly, "He needs help. And we don't have the technology for his kind." Noah tightened his grip on Ari, shaking his head. "No, he can't fade." "He can't," he whispered desperately. The Veil leader placed his hand gently on Noah's shoulder. "There is a way," he said softly, "but it is old and dangerous." Noah looked up instantly. "What is it?" he asked, voice trembling. The leader pointed toward a glowing mountain ridge nearby. "Inside those mountains lies the heart chamber," he explained. "It is a sacred place for our kind. A place where our energy is reborn. But only the prince can enter, and someone he trusts must guide him." Ari opened his eyes weakly and whispered, "Noah." "Come with me." The Veil warriors gasped softly. For a Veil prince to choose a human child as his guide was unheard of. The leader bowed his head deeply. "If this is the prince's wish, then we honor it." Humans and Veil worked together, clearing a path toward the mountains. Soldiers carried lights, while Veil warriors used their glowing staffs to open ancient stone doors covered in silver symbols. The path inside was long and glowing with blue veins of energy running across the walls. It felt like walking through the inside of a giant crystal. Noah walked at the front, holding Ari carefully in his arms. The bond stone around his neck glowed brighter with every step, guiding the way like a small blue sun. Ari rested weakly against Noah's chest, breathing softly. "Noah, thank you for staying," he whispered. Noah smiled tearfully. "I'm not going anywhere," he said. "You saved me first. Remember." At last they reached a massive chamber deep inside the mountains. The walls sparkled with blue light like a million tiny stars. In the center of the room floated a large glowing crystal heart, slowly pulsing like a living thing. The Veil leader bowed deeply. "This is the Heartstone. It will renew Ari's energy. But only if the bond stays strong." Noah stepped forward with Ari. The moment they neared the Heartstone, it flared bright blue, casting warm light across the entire chamber. Ari lifted his weak hand and touched the crystal. Noah placed his hand on Ari's, completing the bond. A wave of pure, warm light burst outward, surrounding them both. Noah felt the energy fill the room, lifting them gently off the ground like they were floating in a soft blue ocean. Ari's body began to glow brighter, the dim light around him turning into a strong, shining aura. The bondstone on Noah's chest pulsed in perfect rhythm with Ari's heartbeat. After several long moments, the light faded slowly, lowering them back onto the floor. Ari opened his eyes, shining bright and full of life. "Noah," he whispered with a smile. "I feel strong." Noah laughed with relief, tears running down his cheeks. "I knew you'd be okay," he said. The Veil leader stepped forward and knelt again. "Prince Ari has returned to full strength," he declared proudly. And the bond between human and Veil is now unbreakable. When they returned outside, both humans and warriors cheered loudly. The war was over, the beast was gone, and a new alliance was born in the valley. For the first time, humans and Veil stood not as strangers, but as allies bound by trust, bravery, and friendship. Ari walked beside Noah, holding a glowing crystal heart in his hands. He placed it into Noah's palm and said softly, "For you, my forever friend." Noah looked at the gift with wide, amazed eyes. Ari added with a warm smile, "You gave me toy. I give you heart of Veil." And so on the planet Kalira, under a sky filled with stars and glowing mountains, two children from different worlds changed the future forever. Not with power, not with weapons, but with kindness, a simple toy, a glowing stone, and a bond strong enough to unite two civilizations. The new future of Kalira had begun.